Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. I recently lost my dictionary.
Have you tried looking upstairs?
I can't look anything up. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Trick or Treat Studios.
We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a heartwarming family tale of chainsaws and massacres and Texas. Now, in this game, based on the film, players are essentially going to end up here at this bizarre, crazy ranch, and they're going to try to essentially escape by finding keys and by finding the gas cans. Now, the map shows the family's house and the nearby diner and the cemetery, the road, the van, and you've got these various interconnected pathways. And on each space along the pathway, you're going to place a token face down. You're also going to have the Slaughter family board off to the side of the main game board, and you're going to have a number of standees. Now, these, of course, are standees for the various Slaughter family members, as well as the characters that you are playing. Now, this is a cooperative game, and you're trying to get everyone out to safety, although some people may be left behind. Now, on your turn, the first thing you're going to do is move. You get two free move actions. You're going to move from the van toward the house, and what you're doing is you're moving into these spaces with the special tokens. Well, once you get these tokens, if the tokens are not keys or gas, you're going to go ahead and put them into the token tray. Now, if it is keys or gas, you can go ahead and you can put those on your player board. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and draw tokens from the bag. Now, you can keep drawing tokens, and you're trying to get action tokens. These allow you to do more things. Essentially, they allow you to get things done on your turn when you draw these action tokens. But as you're drawing the tokens from the bag, if ever you draw three matching tokens that are not action tokens, you immediately must stop. Now, during the draw phase, you may draw Slaughter family tokens. You put them on the Slaughter family board, and they can activate other Slaughter family members, bring them onto the board to give you more headaches. You're going to have a lot of bone tokens. Bone tokens don't really do anything, but there's a lot of them, and if you draw three, boom, it just says you're done drawing. If you draw eye tokens allow you to look at the reverse side of any of the tokens on the board. You have to put it back face down, but now you know what is under that one. Again, if you draw three of them, your turn's over. Now you've got the photo token. If you draw the photo token, for every photo token you have, you can look through cards in the search deck and see what is going to come up next out of the search deck. If you draw Leatherface tokens, essentially you put them on his tracker on the Slaughter family board, and that essentially increases his movement ability. You're going to take those actions if you have the action tokens, and there's several things you can do. You can do additional movement for one action token. You can go ahead and go through the search deck. You can draw a card from the search deck, which contains items that may help you, may be weapons or things that can help you in your quest. And some of the search cards may actually activate the truck and move the truck along the road. You can also push characters. If you're in the same space or in an adjacent space, you can push a character one space further away. If you are in a space with an item like the keys or the gasoline, you can go ahead and use an action to pick up that item and put it on your player board. Now, any tokens that you just played in front of you, or any tokens that you would put from your movement into the tray, you put all of them back into the draw bag. Now, as this is going down, other things are happening. Leatherface is out there, and he's trying to move toward the nearest player. He's going to activate. He's going to start moving toward the nearest player. He wants to do you no good. Leatherface can deal you damage. You're going to put damage markers on your player board. And then also, when Grandpa comes out, he's just in the dining room, but if you go through the dining room, you're going to take damage. The cook, he's going to deal you damage, but he's going to move from specific named places to other named places around the board. And the hitchhiker, he is actually going to head toward the van. And if he is in the van, you cannot escape while he's there. You have to push him away. Now, if you ever take enough damage, you essentially get placed on a meat hook. Leatherface goes ahead, puts you on a meat hook, and you can choose to let that character die, in which case you can grab a new character and bring them onto the board. In that case, you choose a death card, you read it aloud, and all have a good laugh. There's also a chance you can draw tokens to try to get off the meat hook, but if ever 3 characters end up on the meat hook, you all immediately lose the game. Now, once players return to the van, if they have the keys, if they have enough gas, they can go ahead and escape. If a character is left behind, they must read a death card. But all the characters that successfully escaped win the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, there's more going on in this game. That's just a brief overview of how the game is played. As I said, there's more going on here. One thing, too, is you can play with an optional rule called objective cards, meaning you can go out and do all these things to collect what you need to get to the van and escape, but you also have to fulfill specific objectives. You cannot win unless you have fulfilled your specific objective. Now, when we played, I know it recommends not starting with the objective cards. That just learn how to play the game, then bring the objective cards into it. But I'd heard some people had said something to the effect of, if you play without the objective cards, it's too easy. So when we played for our first game, we used the objective cards, and they do add a level of difficulty there, which I think the game needs. I don't think I would ever play this game without the difficulty cards, or without the objective cards, because of that difficulty. We played the game and it was very engaging. I liked how the different Slaughter family members behaved differently and did different things. I thought that was interesting and engaging. I liked some of the choices you had with the actions, as far as where do I want to go? Do I want to do do I want to do a search action? What have you? There were some good choices there, but really, what makes this game work? The bread and butter of this game is that push your luck aspect. In fact, if I were to say, if somebody were to ask me, what kind of a mechanism is this game, my first answer would be push your luck. I mean, it's cooperative, but I'd say it's push your luck. That to me is the most important, engaging, scary, and fun part of the game, because you don't have to keep drawing. You can end at any time, but you want to get those action tokens, because there's always a lot of stuff you want to do. But at the same time, you can shoot yourself in the foot by activating one of those family members. That is really what the game is about, trying to avoid Leatherface, trying to avoid some of these other characters that want to do you no good. But there's some fun spice and sugar in the game too. Particularly, I really enjoyed the death cards. You read specifically how you are killed, and it's gruesome and it's fun. Now, I have to tell you, obviously, this game's not for everyone. If you're not a fan of horror, you're not a fan of horror films, this probably is not going to resonate with you. I am a huge fan of horror. I have always loved horror as a genre. Some of my favorite movies are horror films. Some of my favorite books are horror. I really enjoy a good horror film. And the problem is, horror films are kind of like any other genre film, science fiction, fantasy, whatever. And it seems like the vast majority of them are crap. They're not very good. But when they work, they are so good. Now, when I was a kid, teenager, I remember I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I really enjoyed it. And, they made the sequels, and I watched all the sequels, and it was whatever. But I always enjoyed the first one with that John Larroquette narration. It was always just kind of a creepy, gruesome, fun movie. And it's not for everyone, and it's not something that is the theme, just by its very nature, is not going to appeal to everyone. But this came out that the good people at Trick or Treat Studios, they sent me this game along with the Halloween game, and I played them both. And if you saw my review for Halloween, I loved Halloween. I thought that was just a great, fun, hidden movement game. Really first rate. I really loved that. I didn't love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought it was a good game. I thought it was fun. I really liked Push Your Luck. I really liked some of the choices, and I really like the death cards and some of the spice and sugar they put in there. But I don't know that I love it. Like I could see me breaking out Halloween, fairly often and playing that because it is so quick and it's just this fun little hidden movement game that I still think packs a punch and has a bite to it. This one, as much as I like the push your luck mechanic here, I just don't know that this is one I'm going to be coming back to a lot, which is not to say I won't ever come back to it. I do plan on keeping it in my collection, at least for the time being, and I could see myself with the right group really having fun with this. The group I played with enjoyed it, but I don't think any of them were wowed by it. I think I liked it a little bit more than them because I don't know that anybody else there had seen the movie or was familiar with the IP, and I was, so I got a big kick out of it from that aspect. Liked this game, didn't love it. I don't anticipate loving it, but I still think there's room for it on my shelf for the time being. I'm going to say try it before you buy it. It's a positive try it before you buy it. I think it's a good game, and I think it may appeal to some people more than me. Push Your Luck is not my favorite mechanic, but it is something that I enjoy. I think if you are a big fan of Push Your Luck and you really like the horror theme, then this may be the game for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. And I'd ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history, books on history, fun things like that. I even post some of my lectures on that channel. So please check out that channel and subscribe to that channel. It would mean a lot to me. We'd also ask you to please leave a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. And if you are a big fan of the channel, you like the content we bring you here, I'd ask you to humbly click on the Super Thanks button and leave a contribution. You know, I once knew a little girl with a wooden leg named Lucy. I don't know what she named the other one.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Cody's gonna die. I think you should stop.
I'm gonna stop.